Hi guys, and welcome back to part 2 of dragon painting. And let me tell you, this video has had a ride. Not only did it take me a full hour and a half to shorten it to just 15 minutes, well, just below it, and it also accidentally got deleted as I was going through the footage. I had hit it and it went straight into the trash, and I was like, oh no, I just emptied the trash. I have to fill it quickly. So I had to go through, make a whole nother video out of absolute nonsense pictures, and delete that. And it took several tries of that. Finally, when the trash popped up, I was able to get my video back, but it would not go into the video editing software. I don't know why it won't upload it once it's accidentally gone into the trash. So I had to do a screen record of the whole video and the whole process. And that took a couple of tries to actually get right. So this video is a mess in the making, but it is enjoyable to watch unfold. And if you guys hit like and subscribe, you can also watch the rest of the end result as I upload it. Now, I did try and speed up the process of the taping off of things so as the paint would not go into that as much as possible, which also I had finally given up trying to find my painter's tape and just went back to the home improvement store and bought 3 new rolls. Yeah, they were all the skinny ones. I didn't find any of the larger ones in stock that day. Which I kind of wish I had found the 1-inch wide roll of painter's tape, only because that would have made the one strip a lot more even. Well, possibly, if it was actually cut even. You've really got to check that too with your painter's tape. Make sure the roll is cut straight. Now, what I'm doing here is that's actually going to be a window. And I really wanted it to be a morning sunrise purpley hue. And halfway through, as you see, I pause with the red crimson because I realized that's not the purpley hue I was going after. So I decided to blur that all out, make sure there's no harsh lines, and just pray that it would all come together in the end, because it was just hard. And the paper towel, I'm always on the fence with the paper towel idea with the paint. It sort of works. It gives a more hazy look to when you're doing leafy patterns. But to get the actual bulk of the shadow in, I just went in with my 2-inch brush, which also got at the home improvement store. It is the best brush. I have 4 painting canvases. It's soft, it doesn't leave harsh lines, and it has this really little handle. It works amazingly. I have used it on so many different projects that it's in one of my top 15 brushes that I always reach for. Over here I used very little black gesso paint so as to create the shadow for the leaf texture and so as I can sort of map out where I wanted the path to go. But you'll see my idea of where my path's going to go is going to change when I put the trees in, and then the final layer of the grass itself over top. I still plan to add some stones, maybe some other things, but I figure I'll do that part down the road. Right now I wanted to also get in the wood frame after the paint is fully dried. And on this painting, because there's so many different pieces and different choices that I'm making on it, I am able to actually hop from one piece of the canvas over to the other piece and start working on that as well. And it's like a little bit more of the story for this picture is just unfolding with every little piece of detail I do get done. Sadly, my voice is still just a little bit on the scratchy side today. My throat still sort of hurts. But I wanted to get the main part of the story that I have for this picture because, again, every picture, there's a little story that seems to go right along with it when I am working on it. For now, this is his pathway that the traveler always seems to come down, and it's also the spot that gives him the most inspiration to write about what it is he has explored or found throughout his journey on that day or even the day before. And you'll see in other videos as I'm working, there's a small dragon and he is carrying an inkwell bottle that he is taking to the table. Maybe his friend, the writer, is out exploring and learning and bringing back things to write about. Although I also do plan that there will be a coat of some type that hangs on a hook on the right-hand side of the picture behind the table just in front of the book stand, along with a satchel, so maybe he's only getting ready to head out. But either way, you never actually see the man in the painting. I can paint people, it's just I don't normally like to paint people. For the trees that I painted, I just use a mix of different light browns, a little of the crimson, and just a very small touch of Mars Black, so as that it can marble and give some darker shades and some lighter shades. And I will go back probably over some of these trees that are closer up, add a few more details. But that will be in another video if I truly do decide that. And that's one of my most favorite things about acrylics, is you can always go back over and add just a little more of this or a little more of that. When you're also doing the extra detail, even though there is the painter's tape right either around the area that you're going to be painting or even right through the middle of it, add that detail anyhow, because when you go to remove it, it really does push the illusion that the painting you've just done is behind an object, such as a window. And when I go to remove this painter's tape, there will actually be a bit of an outline around everything else too in some of the areas, because the paint just wasn't able to get up real close to the tape because of the direction I put the brush down in certain areas. And that will create a bit of a gap, which I'm going to use to my advantage to create the reflection off of the glass itself. That way then you can really have the illusion that there is a pane of glass separating the inside cabin from the outer walking trails. Now here I was just messing with an idea to try and bring that tree a little further down the path and closer to the viewer. And I might go back and actually do that again later on. But I decided I wanted to have enough of a path created for the explorer to be able to really look out into the surrounding areas. Just as a quick thought, I might also add some interesting bottles to the bookshelf in certain areas of things that he might have collected over time. I was really toying with just making a collection of type of bottles, but because he already has one giant tome that he's already currently writing in and working on, it makes more sense that he would have a mixture of things on the shelf, at least to me. What do you guys think? Go ahead and leave that in the comments. Oh, and for the coloring of the leaves, I actually added a small bit of yellow ochre, not white. The yellow ochre adds a highlight that looks kind of like how sun does, just as it's catching onto the blades of grass or the little leafy things that are growing in the forest undergrowth. But then I realized I got rid of way too much of my shadow. I had to put it all back in. So this time I went in with a little bit of crimson, phthalo blue, and some dark green. I can't remember the name of that, but it was just a really dark green, and some Mars black, and that gave enough of a different color texture that I could really decide where I wanted the light to really try and hit. You'll notice the little strip of area I'm also painting just below what I have all taped off. And that's because that's the small gap I have between the ink holder and the brush holder and the bottom of the windowsill. I wanted to be able to bring that down just a little bit further because I wanted to play around with the extra lighting that would come in through the window on the lower lip of the desk, and also what would be reflected from the candle on the pane of glass. Also, just after a quick round with the hairdryer, I didn't really fully dry it because I wanted to remove the tape. It's easier to remove the tape when the paint is still semi-wet, and it also makes a little bit of a crisper line. Right here, I was actually trying to figure out what was the best way to undo the tape so as not to lose too much of it, but then I was just unable to save any of this framing because you see all that dark paint up there? It was just very wet, and I knew the more I touch this canvas, the more likely I would have the chance of spreading that. So it was just better to remove that, and I will actually retape it later on, and I like the framing that I come up with next a little bit more. With the tape fully removed, I will actually go back over this one last time with the hairdryer. That way then anything I do accidentally touch or might smudge won't smear. And trust me, that is a lifesaver